How's it going, everyone? I hope you guys are all having a great day. Mine could be better, but that's why we're here today. We're going to be talking about what happened just the other day and why I didn't make a video yesterday. Yesterday, I decided not to make a video because I was trying to figure out some legal stuff. And the day before yesterday, I actually went outside to help my old lady get some groceries out of the car. And walking to her car, I have to pass my car. I drive an '03 350Z Nissan. It's got a spoiler on the back of it. She's silver in color. Pretty much my dream car. Wanted one since Fast and Furious. And walking up towards my car, I see this black piece laying on the concrete. And from a distance, I was thinking, what's that? The closer I get, I see that's the side piece to my spoiler sitting on the ground. It had been ripped off of my car by the construction people who were painting and redoing some woodwork here at the apartment complex I live in. And these motherfuckers didn't say a word to anybody. They backed into my car with wood in the back of the truck and clipped the wing of my clipped my spoiler on my car and ripped the side piece off. And then just drove off and didn't say a word to anybody. I had asked around the apartment complex if anybody saw anything, because from the car, when I bought it, I got it from a dad of a 16-year-old who was just doing some ridiculous stuff to this car, and the dad decided to sell this vehicle. And any 350Z I looked at around my area was up to $5,000 to $6,000. I had about $4,300 to spend, and I was looking at other types of vehicles, but I really wanted a 350Z. And I come across this ad from a guy on Facebook, and I couldn't believe it. It said $3,000 for this vehicle. So I sent him a message and told him I was interested. Waited about a day, and he got back to me, and he says, look, my son is doing some crazy stuff to this car. He's cutting wires to install aftermarket headlights and has no idea what he's doing, and I need to get rid of this vehicle. And I told him, well, I'm very interested in it, but what is so wrong with it that it's $3,000? It had decent low miles on it, and I think it was like 100,000 miles for an '03. And I just bought it last year, like late last year. And he says, I just need to get rid of it because my son does not deserve this vehicle. He's doing stuff he doesn't know what he's doing, and it needs to go. And I go, okay, well, let's work something out, a time to meet. And he goes, I'll make you a deal. He goes, if you come right now, within an hour or two, he goes, I will sell you this car for $2,300 just because I want to get rid of it and show my son that I'm not messing around. So I was excited. I got $4,300 in my pocket. You're saying 23. That leaves me with $2,000. So I was beyond ecstatic because with an extra $2,000, I could still do some work on the car. So I have a friend take me out there, pick up the car, and all the other good stuff. And I give her a bath, I clean her up. She runs, she drives, she sounds good. And this is my pride and joy. And then I move into this apartment complex, this particular one about 4 months ago. And now someone has hit the rear end of my car and ripped the spoiler off of it. and didn't say a word. And I've been asking around if anybody saw anything, please let me know. And I live in an area where ain't nobody gonna say nothing to anybody, especially if they really did see something. It's just one of them areas. I live in a pretty much all black neighborhood, and they have this code, I guess, is even if you saw something, you don't say nothing. And this morning, I wake up. I went outside about 10 something, and I'm smoking a cigarette. And right before I turn around and go back in the house, I see a note on my door, and it says, "Read, please." And this is 2 days after the incident had taken place. And I've been asking around every day, going down to my car, looking at it, seeing if I can't figure anything else out, if I could see any scuff marks from paint or anything on the rear end of my car. They didn't hit my actual car, they hit the spoiler. And it said that a construction company that is working in the apartment had backed into it with lumber in the back of the truck. And they probably didn't even realize they hit my car. And they said they were sorry that they didn't come forward sooner or say anything. In the note, it says they want to remain anonymous because in this area, if you're labeled as a snitch, you can get into some trouble with people. To me, I don't give a fuck about all that. I don't give a shit about it. You hit my car, you say something to me. Be a man about it and say, hey, I hit your car. I apologize. I didn't mean to. Can we figure something out? Because I'm all game for figuring something out and not taking the legal route. You can hand me some money for it and we squash it and that be that. But for you to be a type of person that's going to hit my car, not say nothing. Granted, the guy said they probably didn't even know. But I know the word gets around here pretty quick when someone's looking at their car, and multiple people have walked up to me and said, man, I saw that laying on the ground, and I was wondering whose car this was. And then I saw you out here looking. And so we had to contact the head office here and say that my car had been hit. Because for some odd reason, there's no cameras in this apartment complex whatsoever. There is none. And we're supposed to have security who work from like 8 o'clock at night or so. Or they're supposed to work out throughout the day. But apparently it's like 8 o'clock. That's when they're supposed to come. But I hadn't seen the security guards in like two months. So I don't know what's going on with that situation. Don't really care. The fact is that you hit my car and you tell me that you hit my car, I'm going to have more respect for you for telling me and being a man about it, instead of you becoming a bitch-made person to me for not saying something. And for the person who wrote the note and left it on my door, I appreciate you coming forward, but for you being so low and leaving me a note and not knocking on my door and talking to me face to face about it, you just as bad as the person who hit my car, because you saw it. And you've waited 2 days to even say something, to come forward. And in the note, you said you've seen me walking around my car, trying to find out who did it. And you got information that I need to get my car fixed. So you just as bitch-made as the person who hit my car. Granted, you not as bitch-made because you wrote me a note and told me what happened. But be a man about your business and tell someone if you've done something. You've hit their car. Find out whose car it belongs to. I don't care. Knock on everybody's door. Hey, is that your silver 350Z outside? No, it's not. Go to the next door. And continue to knock on these doors until you find out who the owner is of that car. Most of the people who live on the strip that I live on know that's my car. They see me outside looking at it. I go in, I start it up, and so I take it for a drive. They know whose car that is. But my message to everyone out there is if you hit someone's car and you feel like it's a good idea to take off and not say nothing, you're a fucking idiot. Because people working really hard for the things that they have. And for you to think that you can just bump into something and rip off a piece of someone's vehicle and drive away and say nothing, you're a piece of shit. We work really hard for the things that we have, and we don't need some idiot like you with that state of mind breaking our stuff and thinking you're going to get away with it. Because no matter what, some way, somehow, someone saw you do it. And it all depends on that person who saw you do it, if they're going to come forward and say something. Not every time someone does. And I get that. And I'm thankful in this situation that someone actually wrote me a note and said something about it. And it's going to be handled. Don't think, because you think nobody's watching, that nobody's not watching. There's eyes everywhere. With the way camera phones are now, and just the way people are in general. They film everything, or they see everything, and sometimes they decide to keep it hush. But it's just messed up the kind of world we live in, that people are doing this, because this happens every day. Every day. There's so many cars outside, because I was talking to people about my car and what had happened, if they seen anything, and like 2 or 3 people told me that their car was hit a couple weeks ago, and they're still trying to find out who did it. So I'm thinking about wrapping some bubble wrap around my fucking car so this shit doesn't happen again. Granted, I'm gonna have kids outside, doing the bubble wrap all over my freaking car. Hell, I would. But own up to your shit. If you did something bad, you hit someone's car, own up to it. Be a man about it. Or a woman about it. Don't think that you're just going to get away with it. Some people do. But I'm going to tell you right now, karma is a bitch. And it's going to come back and bite you. I promise you. I've seen karma do its work. And it's nasty. So, if you see anything, anybody ever hit your car or someone else's car, say something about it. Step forward and help that individual out. Because put yourself in their shoes. That's my car. I worked hard for that. Someone just hit it. I wonder how they're going to feel about that. How would I feel if someone did that to my car and someone didn't come forward when they saw something? Be a man or a woman. Come forward. Be a real individual. Be a person. And say something. Because I know for a fact if I saw someone back into someone else's car and tried to take off, I would try to figure out the license plate before they took off. I would try to get eyes on the person, what they look like. And then I would find out whose vehicle that belonged to. And I would tell them straight up that someone just hit their car. Moral of the story is, don't be a bitch-made person and think that it's cool not to say nothing. Say something. Because one day it's going to help you out. Or it could take the other route. Karma's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Sorry to throw out a little rant like this. This is something I had to get off my chest. And it's something that's been bugging me since it happened. And I figured I'd put this out there for y'all to kind of give you my insight on it, on everything. Like, comment, and subscribe. I've got another story for y'all. It's going to be a funny one. It's not going to be serious. So, stay tuned for that. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.